I'm Taylor. What I want to speak with you about very briefly is practicing the backside of outside zone. So we're practicing the backside of outside zone. So I'm talking about stretch zone. I'm talking about a zone play where the running back's angle is at least outside a yard or so outside the tight end, and it's the backside of outside zone. Okay, so as we know it, stretch zone play. Now I'm going to include the center in my diagrams here, kind of give a description of working these drills. So the first front we're going to talk about is a bear front, some sort of double eagle front, a nose, a three, and a backside linebacker. Okay, now I personally think the easiest way to handle this is have the center dip and rip through the nose guard with a good angle toward the backside linebacker, and have the backside guard get depth and run. He's going to have to get depth and run. Go either cut off the backside nose or scoop the backside nose. Same with the backside tackle. He's going to have to get depth and run. And it's not going to be a 2 or 3 step cutoff. It's going to have to be several yards. He's running with depth and width to really get where he needs to get to either cut the backside 3 technique off or scoop the backside 3. Now this is not going over the technique part, but he's going to have enough inertia to actually get the 3 technique down, or certainly get his body in position to scoop. So a bear front with a linebacker that is playing in the A gap, same situation. If the linebacker is way back here, then I think there's precedence to have the guard cut the backside tackle, have the tackle obviously scoop. You can have that center by himself on that nose guard, but when you practice it, probably the more difficult you make it, the better you're going to be in a worst case scenario. Now, the other situation I want to talk about is when you have a shade here and then a backside linebacker. So you're probably all familiar on this. So he's now going to get some depth and run to scoop the shade, and the backside tackle is going to take an angle toward the Mike linebacker or the play side linebacker to take the backside backer. So it's very important. He's going to open, crossover, take a great angle to cut that off. Now, you can talk about, do you want to zone this and all this? Right now, for our purposes, okay, especially if he's in a shade, he's going to man block this and essentially man block the tackle on the backside level. It's just easier that way. There's more speed. The guys get out faster. A nuanced point that can arise is if this linebacker here, and if this linebacker isn't touching or head up the tackle. So if he's touching or head up, he can take a good angle toward this linebacker to block this one. But if he's in here like in a 3 technique, and depending on the situation, but this can occur where the tackle and guard are responsible for a backside backer who aligned over the guard. Even if this guy's in a 2 technique or a 2-eye, what's going to have to happen is the guard's going to have to go through, block the wheel linebacker. Now you may say, well, this is a difficult block. Yes, it is. The guard can help. He can give a little one-arm bench press. He can have his hands to the sky and kind of lift it. But he's got to take that angle to seal that backside linebacker, and he's going to have to be very disciplined about getting his depth and width and just running as much as he can to get all the way to the inside of this alignment here. Now, it may be a situation where he's in a 2-eye, he's running with the guard comes off, the tackle gets his depth and runs, and all he can do is just mash it inside, in which the ball may have to roll behind it, but it's going to occur way over here. It's going to be in the original alignment of the guard and tackle, so it's still going to create space for the ball carrier. But it is important, though, to have a rule where if this linebacker is stacked over here in this guard, he can't just run this A-gap. It'll be a situation where if he's in a tight 2-eye, you'll get the scoop there, but then this linebacker is a free runner. So I think these are the 2 biggest issues to talk about, and if you can practice these as efficiently as possible, you can have the left side going over here, practicing versus this front, for instance, have the guard helping and the tackle getting some depth and run. And you can have a guy for the center to block, be it a 2-eye or a shade, so on and so forth. He can work on his technique, and then if you have a guys going to the right side, and you come back over here, and you have that scenario that I talked about, which is maybe the guard has to come through, the tackle has to get depth and run, and then you can have your backup center over here working, a shade or a nose or so on and so forth, however you'd like to practice it. But very important, I think, that you break them up into practice and that you go over the different scenarios that can happen. The wheel linebacker walks down. He's got to essentially just block his gap, so on and so forth. But a couple of different situations that can arise, and a bear front also on the backside of probably a 40 front where the wheel linebacker is touching the guard. So hope this is of value to you, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.